What's the most important thing in diplomacy? Most experts would agree it is leverage, the ability to use a situation to gain maximum advantage. Today, India has some leverage over China. It holds the presidencies of two important alliances, the G20 or the group of top 20 economies of the world, and the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. India is in the driver's seat, it has leverage, and so China perhaps feels the need to talk to India. China is part of both these groups, the G20 and the SCO, which means the Chinese president has two opportunities to visit India this year. But can he do it? Can Xi Jinping come to India when his troops are challenging Indian sovereignty on the border? It would be uncomfortable, to say the least. So Beijing could be trying to repair some of the damage. A thaw could be in the works. A reset, if not a thaw. An Indian diplomat has traveled to Beijing. And this will be the first such gesture in almost 4 years. But before I proceed, just look at the backdrop of this visit. The India-China border situation is far from resolved. It's been 3 years since the Galwan clash, no resolution. But the events of last evening are hinting at a possible reset. An important meeting was held to solve the border impasse. And what was this about? The WMCC, the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on Border Affairs. It sounds complicated, but it's actually quite simple. It's a mechanism to resolve the border issues. And this was not their first meeting. The WMCC has met 25 times before. Yesterday's meeting was meeting number 26. 11 such meetings were held during the border standoff. But all of them were online. They were all held through video conference. Yesterday's meeting happened in person and China hosted it, which is what makes it even more significant. Now, what was discussed in the meeting? India and China reviewed the border situation, specifically the western sector. You see, the India-China border is divided into three sectors, western, middle and eastern. The western sector is the border between Ladakh and Xinjiang, over 2,100 kilometers long. This is where Aksai Chin is. This is also where Galwan is. And this sector was the focus of the conversation yesterday. They took up proposals for disengagement. And what was the result of the meeting? No resolution, but plans for more conversations, we are told. I have a statement from India's Ministry of External Affairs. Listen to this. This is what they've said. To restore peace and tranquility in accordance with the existing bilateral agreements and protocols, they agreed to hold the next 18th round of the senior commanders meeting at an early stage. So the long-delayed military-level dialogue could soon happen. The last round was held in December. That was right after a fresh round of clashes. It happened in the Tawang region. The Tawang region along the border. This is the birthplace of the 6th Dalai Lama and an important pilgrimage center for Buddhists. This was the most serious skirmish since Galwan. The Galwan clash happened 3 years ago, remember. 20 Indian soldiers were killed in action. The situation still remains tense. There have been multiple rounds of talks. China has disengaged from 3 standoff points. But reports say that disengagement is yet to happen at 3 more points. The troop deployment is at an all-time high, the highest level in peacetime. Each side has at least 50,000 soldiers at the border, which means a total of more than 100,000 soldiers are at the India-China border as we speak, 100,000 plus. So there is tension and a deadlock. Can the fresh round of talks ease the situation? We can only be cautiously optimistic. You see, the India-China relationship is at an all-time low. The border standoff ended all bilateral exchanges. Last year, Beijing attempted an outreach. At least 2 senior diplomats visited New Delhi. The first was Wang Yi, China's top diplomat, and the second was Yu Xiaoyong, China's special envoy for Afghanistan. They both came one after the other, but New Delhi did not reciprocate. That changed yesterday. An Indian delegation was welcomed in Beijing. It shows that both sides are willing to talk. It's a positive development. But knowing China, it's not over even after it's over.